One for All, used by Izuku Midoriya, formerly by All Might, and passed down through 9 users. One for All first becomes important when All Might watches Deku run in to save Bakugo with zero hesitation, which convinces him that Deku has the heart of a hero even without a quirk. That moment pushes him to choose Deku as the next successor. One for All stockpiles power and carries the strength of every previous user. Deku later unlocks the quirks of past users like Black Whip, Float, Smokescreen, Danger Sense, Gear Shift, and Fajin. Its main ability gives insane physical boosts, letting him move fast, leap huge distances, and dish out massive hits. But using too much output can destroy his body, so training is a huge part of his growth. Over time, he learns how to control different percentages and mix the inherited quirks with the main power to fit whatever situation he's in. All for One, used by the villain All for One and eventually inherited by Tomura Shigaraki. The quirk becomes a major threat the moment All for One appears as the real mastermind behind the criminal world. All for One lets the user steal quirks, store them, and even give them away. Because he can stack abilities, he ends up with a huge arsenal: regeneration, strength boosters, ranged blasts, sensory quirks, and more. He also manipulates people by giving them quirks with hidden conditions. When Shigaraki starts absorbing it fully, the quirk fuses with his evolving body, making every stolen power even stronger. The danger comes from how much hacks he can obtain. The more quirks he collects, the more combinations he can pull off. New Order, used by Star and Stripe, America's #1 hero. It appears when she arrives in Japan to stop Shigaraki head-on, showing immediately how overwhelming her quirk can be. New Order lets Star create a rule on anything she touches and names. She can buff herself with things like super strength or manipulate her surroundings by setting commands on the air itself. She can also weaken or limit enemies by declaring specific restrictions. But her body can only handle a certain number of rules at once, and her commands can't break basic laws of reality. During her fight with Shigaraki, she sets a final rule that causes New Order to attack his other quirks from the inside, wiping out many of them before the quirk breaks apart and disappears. Copy. Used by Monoma from Class 1B, Copy becomes more noticeable during the training arcs when Monoma finally starts showing how clutch he can be in team strategy. Copy lets Monoma take someone's quirk just by touching them, and each copied quirk lasts around 10 minutes. He can store multiple quirks at once, switching between them depending on the fight. But he still needs to understand how the quirk works to use it properly. Even with those limits, Copy makes Monoma incredibly unpredictable, especially in group battles where he can grab abilities on the fly. Rewind. Used by Eri, Rewind makes its first major impact in the Shie Hasaikai arc, when the heroes learn how Overhaul used her ability to create his quirk-destroying bullets. Rewind lets Eri return a living being to a previous physical state. She can heal injuries, undo transformations, or accidentally erase someone completely if she loses control. The power comes from her horn and reacts to her emotions, so she needs patient and careful training. During the fight with Overhaul, she keeps Deku at 100% by constantly rewinding the damage he takes. Later, she restores Mirio's quirk. When she grows up, she might become one of the strongest in the verse. Decay. Used by Tomura Shigaraki, Decay becomes more and more dangerous as Shigaraki's rage grows and the quirk evolves with him. Decay activates when all 5 of Shigaraki's fingers touch a target. Early on the series, he's fodder. It only destroys what he touches directly, breaking things down into dust. As the story progresses and his quirk evolves, it spreads across anything connected to the first point of contact: walls, floors, buildings, and huge areas around him. After his upgrade, Decay becomes fast, wide-ranged, and almost impossible to stop once it starts spreading. He went from street tier to city level. Creation. Used by Momo, Creation gets more attention during exams and coordinated missions, showing how heavily it relies on intelligence and planning. Creation allows Momo to make any non-living item as long as she understands its structure. She uses fat from her body as fuel, so she needs a lot of calories and stamina to keep creating. Her quirk is only limited by how well she knows the object and how much energy she has left. She can produce weapons, shields, tools, gadgets, traps, chemicals, and other support gear right in the middle of battle. The more she studies, the faster and more efficiently she creates. Overhaul. Used by Kai Chisaki. Overhaul takes center stage during the Shie Hasaikai arc, where Chisaki shows zero hesitation in using its full destructive potential. Overhaul lets Chisaki break down anything he touches, and then reconstruct it however he wants. He can instantly heal people, destroy enemies on contact, reshape the environment, and even fuse with others to gain new forms and abilities. Since it works on both living and non-living things, he basically controls the battlefield as long as he can reach the target. As a matter of fact and reading comprehension, Deku would be 6 feet under if it wasn't for Eri.